This talk is about going to court. Should you go to court? Should you not go to court? What's involved? What's the big deal? And in it, of course, you're going to look at, do you need a lawyer? What kind of help do you need? Court is when you can't resolve the issues with Canada Revenue Agency. And how it often ends up, whether or not you go to court or not, and to help you understand the statistics behind this whole thing, you often hear that CRA wins the vast majority of their cases in court. And that's kind of true. However, it's like any other statistic, it doesn't tell the whole story. So here's how the journey goes. You may or may not have done something wrong. CRA comes to check out. They audit you, they come up with an assessment. And the assessment you disagree with, you don't think it's right. You have to look at it and say, how much is the assessment? Is it cheaper to fight? Or is it cheaper just to pay the bill? And you'll also measure the price on stress. If you fight with CRA, you're in for a long time, months to years. So, but let's just look at that, the process as you journey towards court. CRA issues you an assessment. You have 90 days to file an appeal on that assessment. And if you miss your 90 days, there's a year opening where you can write a letter, give the reasons, you get to file your notice of objection. About half the objections filed are successful. Those wins are never published. That's not part of the story. It's not CRA wins the majority of their cases. So now, of the 50% roughly that are not resolved at the objection stage, you have the right to file an appeal. And when you file an appeal, half the time you're successful and the matter gets resolved and it doesn't go into court. And that statistic never comes up. Now, when it's not resolved with what we call the internal audit, which is dealing with CRA, and it gets into the Department of Justice, that's actually better. It's a way better. Because now you're dealing with lawyers, and lawyers deal in law, they deal in facts. They don't want to be in front of a judge and make a fool of themselves, and they don't want to go in front of the judge unless they're sure they're going to win. And that's the point where if it doesn't get settled, the statistics start to get interesting. But if you do settle, the statistics don't show up. You've had success. Does that statistic published, made available? No, it's not. So let's assume you're looking at the last few days and it's to go into a court. I'll tell you how we see it. Like, we can go to court for an informal court for up to $25,000 of the federal portion of your taxes per year. And we won't go to court unless we're sure we're going to win. If we're not sure we're going to win, we're going to settle. It's highly probable that the results are going to be a lot better than if you just took the assessment. So there you have it. We won't go to court unless we think we're going to win. CRA won't go to court unless they think they're going to win. So do you get the picture? So when somebody goes to court, when they shouldn't, CRA wins, and there you get the statistic. So now, looking at it from your own point of view, it costs money to go through all that process, and I'll give you some tips and some ideas. Your bookkeeping has to be impeccable. You can't go down this journey of objecting and appealing if you don't have audit-ready bookkeeping, really well laid out, really well done. So your records and everything has to be beautifully done. You need 3-ring binders, tabs, and labels, and everything has to be beyond question well done. That's your foundation. If you haven't done that, you're going to lose. CRA definitely has the edge. Also understand when you go to tax court that you're dealing with lawyers who, that's all they do is tax court. So they're good at it. And the ones that have been around for a while, really impressive. And if you're going to court and you don't know even the rules and the procedures, you're trying to self-defend, you can find yourself lost. You're trying to pay attention to everything, what the Crown prosecutor is doing, saying, what the judge is saying, what the judge is looking at, when the judge makes notes, when the person you're with is trying to talk to you. There's all these things going on, and you're supposed to remember everything in your head and be sharp and remember that when the judge says something, when the judge asks a question, you need to be paying attention and listening a lot. So these are things that you need to be careful about when you're going into court. And I can give you a good tip, and this comes from a judge who wrote, it's all too often that people don't have a good factum. They don't understand the importance of the factum being your statement of facts going into the court case. What he said was, judges largely make up their mind about who's right and who's wrong in the case from reading the factum. So think about that. How do you want to begin your case in court with the judge leaning your way or leaning the other way? Now, I'm just sharing with you experience. I'm not advising you what to do. I'm telling you from my experience, and I've been in court a lot, and I'm not a lawyer, and I can't give you legal advice. I can just share my experience, and then you'll go to a lawyer for your legal advice. But I can tell you, trying to wing this on your own is a really bad idea. They say that a lawyer who defends himself has a fool for support, and there's a certain amount of truth to that. So understand that you can still do an awful lot of the work yourself. You can do the accounting. You can make sure that you can prove every expense, and that every expense had a business reason for it, and that it all makes sense. So yeah, you can do the work, then take it to the lawyer. If it's going to be in court, you're going to need the lawyer. But most of the time, you're going to get this resolved without the lawyer going in front of a judge. You may hire the lawyer, and the lawyer is going to help to finish it off. And I can tell you, we work with lawyers. We prepare everything. And then it's taken to the lawyer gives them legal advice, and then deals with the Department of Justice. So that's a little bit of an eyesight and viewpoint into tax court. And think carefully about it, and if you need our help getting ready, advice, guidance, getting the bookkeeping done, dealing with Canada Revenue Agency, even helping you and supporting you dealing with the Department of Justice if you decide to self-litigate, we're here for you. Thank you.